because this is a really good way of learning the model without actually having to read all of those fact sheets that I showed you earlier. So just quickly hopping into vida.irap.org, you can register there to use Vida whenever you want to. It's free to use. There's tons of resources in here. Do go and have a look around, give you an idea about some of the new things that are coming as well, or newer methodologies like iRAP and star rating for schools and so on. But what I'm going to show you now is the demonstrator. It's the block with all of the stars on it. And this is a 100-meter tool. So whereas the iRAP methodology is longitudinal, it goes across the whole route or the whole of the network that you've surveyed. This is just a 100-meter view, and it's a really good way of just getting to grips with what the model does. So here, what you do is you go in and you choose a road stereotype that fits most closely with the road that you have in your mind. So I'm going to go for a low standard rural, and we've got 1 star for both vehicle occupants and motorcyclists. I haven't got any pedestrians and cyclists present. I'm just going to go and add a few of those so we can see the star ratings across the piece, because although it's a rural road, we do still sometimes have the odd rambler or the odd cyclist. So if I go into flow, I can put some pedestrian peak hour moving along the road, so 1 to 5 in the peak hour. And I'm going to do the same for pedal cyclists, 1 to 5 in the peak hour. So now we've got our star ratings for all of them, and it's looking pretty bleak for pedestrians and cyclists. And that's because at the moment we've got the speed set at 100 kilometres per hour, which if you were to be struck as a pedestrian 100 kilometres per hour, the outcome would not be good. We do have miles per hour. If you just scroll down, then we can see those. So let's say the speed limit is, let's say it's 50, which is fair enough for a low standard rural. It's kind of common, I suppose. Not maybe fair enough, but it's quite common. And we might find people moving along that road at about 45. Now, the model is going to take whichever is the highest of the speed limit or the 85th percentile operating speed to feed into the star ratings. But if you want to fool it, you could then just set the speed limit to the 85th percentile speed, which is arguably more important to drive our understanding of how safe the road is. What we can then do is to change various things about the road environment. So let's first of all go to the VRU facilities and let's give our pedal cyclists a lovely brand new off-road path. And that's going to sort things out because they're away from traffic and they've got their own facility. Lovely, all 5 star. Let's have some informal, let's have some non-physical separation, 0 to 1 meters from the running lane for pedestrians, footway. And we're going to have that on the other side as well. That makes things pretty good for pedestrians. People are going at 45. But they have got their own place to be. No one's crossing the road because I didn't put any flow going across the road. But let's now see what else we've got to do for those who are in a vehicle or on a power two-wheeler. So here the issue is we've got trees 1 to 5 meters from the running lane. Now we could try pushing them back a bit. So if you could clear some of the trees, I know that's difficult from an environmental perspective, but we're just playing around here in the demonstrator rather than being particularly realistic. Or we could maybe put up a vehicle restraint system, so a safety barrier metal. Let's try that. So you can see as I'm changing things are getting better actually for vehicle occupants and for motorcyclists. We're nearly up to 3 stars now for motorcyclists. I'm going to put in some raised profile edge lines, which we love because they are so effective and so cheap, but I do have to have a passenger side narrow shoulder for those to work. They've made a marginal impact, but they're really cheap, so often it's quite worth putting those in if you can. At the moment, we've just got a centre line in our median, and what I'm going to do now is to show you the chart. So we've done pretty well at taking some of these bits of risk down. So these will be the remaining runoff risk on the driver's side and passenger side, because remember we put in a vehicle restraint system. That's not perfect. We prefer to have a completely clear runoff, but what we've still got left is head-on loss of control. So beg your pardon. let's put in some central hatching because that's a realistic measure. It hasn't made a massive impact, but it has brought this grey part down. We might also put in some medium textured road markings, the sort of weatherline plus, that's helped a little bit as well. We've got curvature here, which is moderate, but we've got a poor quality of curve. So if we put in some bend warning signs and make that adequate, then that will bring that risk down a little bit more. We've got poor delineation. Let's make that better. We're going to paint our white lines again and put up some marker posts perhaps along that bend. Didn't really see a massive change there, but it's just a marginal improvement. Road condition, let's make that good. I know that's not always the case for our roads at the moment. Struggling with that, aren't we? But there we go. You can start to see how we're starting to moderate, and we're right into the 4 stars here now for vehicle occupants, which is great, and we're nearly at 4 stars for motorcyclists. We've provided some footways for pedestrians and given our cyclists somewhere to be. So here you can see the impact that it's having on those different user groups, the changes that we make. So what I'd say is just have a play around in there, register in Vida, have a play in the demonstrator, see how the model works, see if you agree. If you disagree, have a look at the charts. There's also speed range charts if you get really keen. These ones are for the attributes that we put in and for different levels of flow. We've got 5,000, 15,000 and 25,000 flow here. It shows you the star rating at different speeds. So these are the speeds along the bottom and our star rating score over the top there. So you can start to see the speed at which you'd achieve 3, 4 or 5 stars, for example. You can also save your work if you want to. Just create a new set of attributes, and you can give it a name and you can share it with your colleagues and so on and so forth. Really useful little tool, and you can use that just for mocking up different options that you might be exploring. And maybe there's development planning going on. You can do a scenario that's the baseline, how it is today versus what the development would look like. Is it bringing in a new T-junction onto the road or something of that sort? And then you can then start to look at what the mitigations might be that would then influence star rating as well. So if you have any interest in exploring that and using iRAP for development planning, do get in touch, because it's a new piece of work that we're trying to move forward on. I'm going to go back to the presentation now. So that's the demonstrator. Do please use it, and do let us know if you are using it in earnest. Some people are adding that sort of information into their road safety audits, for example. Lots and lots of uses for the demonstrator, and it's really quick and easy to do, as you've seen.